story out of Kenya. They arrested some Belgian kids for stealing ants.
Find something you can fix. This past I might take a look at Mexico and go, you know what, I could do better. Who gave money so that they could watch the ants? Freddie Rubino here, coming to you live from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in the land, with my podcast. That's what I'm talking about, where I talk about whatever the hell I feel like it, but it's usually stories of the week that might not be the top stories. And so you tune in here. We usually have some kind of comedic spin, and we have comics on all the time as guests. But I always start my podcast with something called the Disgraziata of the week. And the Disgraziata, if you're not Italian, it means the biggest disgrace of the week. And I think this is the second time this person has become the Disgraziata of the week. It's Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer, one of the lowest things to squirm out of the sewers of New York. He has asked for an investigation into Donald Trump because of the Texas flooding and the tragedy that happened in Texas. The Democratic Party, headed by Chuck Schumer, never miss an opportunity to politicize horrific tragedy. Tragedy that should not be politicized. They go full force, no heart, no sympathy for the families, trying to blame the President of the United States for a flash flood in Texas that tragically took the lives of many beautiful, innocent children. He's a piece of garbage. Okay? And this is what he's saying. 10% of the National Weather Service was laid off because of Doge. You know why they were laid off? Because they were do-nothing people in the National Weather Service. We don't even have any information what their jobs were. Some of them were temporary. Some of them were stay-at-home people. So let's not say that the 10% that were laid off could have saved these children. Could you imagine adding to the pain of these families by saying that if Doge didn't lay off these do-nothing workers at the National Weather Service, your child could still be alive? Is there anything lower than Chuck Schumer? Please message me. Please comment on this. If you could find anything lower than Chuck Schumer, a piece of shit doesn't do it. Okay? Piece of shit doesn't do it. My dog shits. I pick it up. I'm not that upset. Chuck Schumer, lower than dog shit. 10% of the National Weather Service. So what he's actually saying, if you read between the lines, is if they laid off 10% of the National Weather Service and the other 90% are so bad at their job that people die, then I have to say, lay off the other 90%. Because they can't do their job. If you are saying, as Chuck Schumer is, if you are saying, as the Democratic Party is saying, that 90% of the National Weather Service are so inept what they're doing, and they were counting on those 10% to do their job, then the 90% have to go too. Okay? That's it's cut and dry. If you can't, look, if you are running emergency room, okay, and you have doctors, and you have nurses, and you have anesthesiologists. You have everybody in there that could save people's lives on a daily basis. And you lay off 10%. You lay off the guy ordering the Band-Aids. You lay off the guy who empties the trash bin. You lay off the guy who's in charge of billing. That shouldn't mean people are dying in the ER. And this is exactly what happened with the National Weather Service. Also, FEMA. Is anybody still thinking FEMA is a great organization? This FEMA now, they're saying, oh, Trump did this. Maybe FEMA couldn't save them. FEMA's a piece of shit organization, too. FEMA are the people, when the hurricane hit the Carolinas, they told people, do not help anybody who was MAGA or Trump. Leave them. Leave those kids to drown. Leave those families to be ruined. Leave them. Just rescue the liberal Democrats. That's FEMA. FEMA are the people who didn't even go to Palestine, Ohio after the truck derailed, okay? So let's not hold up FEMA as the be-all and the end-all. FEMA's got to go, too. Listen, they're lucky I'm not head of Doge, because National Weather Service, let me just tell you something about the National Weather Service. If you have a phone and you have an app and you see the National Weather Service, you see their radar, and you see a massive rainstorm is coming through, okay? Even if it's coming through in 20 minutes, the people who were at the National Weather Service saw it coming through Texas and didn't at least message the Parks Department all over Texas and say, hey, severe weather is running through. If you know that there are people near rivers, maybe you want to give them a heads up. Even though it's 2 in the morning, go out there, alert them. Okay? To me, National Weather Service did nothing. So if you want to investigate, that's what you investigate. Now, I have a guest coming in right now. He is one of my favorite comedians of all time.
It's Gino. No, it's Gino.
Oh, no, it's Gino Bisconti. I'm sorry. Gino, come on in. Hey, thanks for being late.
Oh, come on.
Gino's late. Gino's late.
The only thing that surprises me is that as long as I've lived here, I'll never realize there's going to be 2 accidents at any point during the day. And it's official. I'm insanely old because I left the house. I got 3 blocks from...
There's a switch on the mic, and it goes...
No.
Okay.
Good. I said. Well, let's pretend I said really important stuff. Can I say the? Can we curse?
No, you can't curse.
All right. Good to know. And then I got 3 blocks from my house. And you ready? You ready for?
What?
You ready for
What
me
happened?
to be the old? Did I leave the stove on?
What are you, a Nazi? You have the stove going all day?
Oh no. If I were a Nazi, if I were a Nazi, I'd be in ICE because they're the Gestapo.
I'd Nazi in the morning.
So funny.
Okay.
This is great.
This is Gino Bisconti.
And forgive me as I send all, because one, I want to thank you.
Are you texting now?
I'm tweeting the link to this
Oh,
because
God.
I couldn't find it, and I want to say, thanks for having me on. 2, the fans love you, like my fans,
what's
all
not to
6.
love?
The way when you would come on to In Hot Water, I wore the thing to promote because it's it was the best. Like the fans love it. They're huge. Like working with you.
That was iHeartMedia.
That was Compound Media.
Compound Media.
He's on. Anthony is on WABC now, like you are, right?
Yes. Oh, well, that's day to day. Let me just say that there was a comedian called Otto and George.
Yes.
He passed away. He was one of the most controversial, unbelievable comics. The minute he died, every comic in the world said, oh, me and Otto and George. Oh, I knew Otto and George. Oh, me and him did these crazy things. All of a sudden, everybody knew him. So I always say, when you're not around, I compliment you. I say Gino Bisconti is the Otto and George of our lifetime.
But there's
and
only
I
one
can't
of
wait
me.
for you to die. So I could say, oh, me and Gino used to do this.
Because like George, I have no soul.
You have no soul.
And like Otto, I'm just misunderstood. That's all it is. But
You are a comics comic.
Yeah, that's a good thing and a bad thing.
Which means you don't work.
Which means I don't work. Which means like like I'll do some shit room.
Right.
And then when I get there, like, Gino dropped by, and the young comics think because I'm like doing an extra spot from the cellar, and no one really.
Man, I wish I was Gino.
Yeah. And the other comics are like, so you've given up? I get it. Yeah. But the thing that actually alludes back to what I was saying, like,
What were you saying?
I
zoned out. I started thinking of me doing a spot at the cellar.
I did 2 or 3 before I upset
Who
people.
books that?
Oh, people that don't. Someone else on my phone that I haven't texted, like you go through and it's like 2018, I sent my last avail. But when you said it, you're like, hey, thanks for doing it. And I'm sorry I'm late, not that you care. But
Gino was late.
yeah, but it's like, I would rather, I told you this, rather you like just say, you're welcome for me to, I would rather drive an hour, which becomes an hour and a half because people can't drive, to a studio, a beautiful physical, I'll say it, brick and mortar building.
Brick and mortar.
Especially one as history it is this, you know, that does the Lord's work, to do a show with you, then sit in my friggin' apartment in front of my couch and be like, oh, in an hour I'm gonna sit on that chair and broadcast, because that's what these idiots want. And like when they say, who are they? They are them. And I didn't mean to use your pronouns, Fred, but they are them.
Let me just say that I asked you a simple question and you took up 3 minutes of this podcast
and that's how it
with
comes.
your cunty confessions. Okay.
Do you like when you're streaming? Do you like when you're like, oh, send me the link so I can sit in my office and chat? It stinks.
It does stink, and I thank you for coming on. We will be back on the next segment, which Gino's going to be here for the whole hour. We will be back on the next segment. We're coming to you live from the America First Warehouse with That's What I'm Talking About. We will go over some of the big stories and the not-so-big stories with the greatest comic in the world, Gino Bisconti.
Woohoo! Thank you, buddy.
Who broke the television? Can we laugh at that? Sounds a little mean.
As of this week, public gay sex will now be mandatory.
Parties. Am I the only one that could see his lips move? Cheekbones, baby.
I'm sorry, maybe I overreacted.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Welcome, everybody, to the not-so-newlywed show, where 3 couples are going to compete for really great prizes. Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who complained first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said.
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what. Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Shauna is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a one-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who do you hate the most on her side? That rotten no.
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
Welcome back to That's What I'm Talking About. The podcast coming to you live from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in the land. I'm back with Gino Bisconti, the bad boy of comedy. No,
Just
the cleanest comic.
No, I think it's boy is he bad at comedy.
Boy, is he the cleanest comic. I always tell venues, you need a clean comic? Gino Bisconti. If you're out there and you need a clean comic,
I still want to curse.
Gino Bisconti.
So, like, do you understand? Like, I never understood the whole point of free expression.
Is cursing.
And I've said this, like, the classic movie, and I'm sure you love it. Midnight, I'll give you two movies. One I love, one I've only seen once, and it's a legendary. Midnight Run and The Big Lebowski.
I only seen half of The Big Lebowski.
Okay, good, because everyone wants to jam that down my throat. Let that go, because we'll be clean. But Midnight Run,
love it. Seen it 5 times.
If you take the cursing out of that movie, it effing S's.
Farina, the guy Farina.
Oh, have a cream soda, do some effing thing.
I love it. I'm going to take a pencil and shove it in your eyeball. I use that all the time.
It's so good.
When I babysit.
But, like, there's an intelligent way to curse. I'm sorry.
And we don't do it.
And we don't do it.
No.
Oh, but I hate that people think if you don't say certain, we'll make it political. This is what goes on with the left. They're like, well, I didn't say anything hateful. You called ICE the Gestapo.
Right.
You called Trump Hitler. And as much as I love both of them, some people have a problem. As efficient as both of them were, one of them now, some people have a problem, and they're the ones that are in. There were 12 stupid white people shooting at ICE agents
I hate
the other
white
day.
people.
Oh, they're the worst.
Well, could I get to my stories, Gino?
I wish
you
you
go?
I was born on a farm in South Jersey.
By the way,
Hey, buddy.
I go to comedy shows. I pay. I walk in, even though I'm doing comedy.
Really?
I go in. If me and my wife see a comic we like, we go in. You know how many times we go in and the guy go, "Oh, it's clean comedy," and you can hear me going, "Motherfucker, not clean comedy."
Don't you hate when you're about to do a show and they're like, all right, no cursing. It's like you go to Bob's Crab Shack and Bob is like, hey, I don't want you cursing. All right, here's how you make crab cakes. Just fucking trust me. I'm pretty good at this.
Cakes.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at this.
If you say it's a dirty show, it's an R-rated.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be anything from just little curses for a little thing like this to the most outrageous thing where even if you didn't like it, you're going to go back and say, I saw the most outrageous show. Clean comedy has borders.
Yeah.
I mean, clean comedy could be just jingling your keys at the old age home because they're all catatonic.
Who books that?
You go jingling, look. Well, that's not my. Anyway, let's get to this first news story. Lee Zeldin. Are you familiar with this man?
The person that should have won New York a couple of years, like
Yes.
the last gubernatorial election.
If it wasn't a fixed election.
Or was it mayor? I always confuse
I
those.
believe it was the governor.
I'm so
If
stupid.
it wasn't a fixed election, Lee Zeldin would have won.
Yes.
But now he is the EPA administrator.
Right.
That's the Environmental Protection Agency.
Sure.
For you non-college people.
For those of you unlearned.
Yeah, I'll learn you. So, for decades, the EPA has delayed and put off to the side nuclear power.
Right.
And he's advocating for it.
Yeah.
And the Democratic Party, I gotta say, when you say you're a Democrat now, the only thing I could see is that you believe the stupidest shit that is thrown at you, and you believe it, and you eat it up.
Yeah.
So now they're saying, no, you can't. It's too dangerous. It's the safest, most cleanest energy. They're pushing windmills.
I can't.
They're telling you a windmill is cutting-edge technology.
You know what a windmill is? It's not just that it's not cutting-edge technology. This is how.
I believe that's a gay bar in Greenwich Village. The windmill.
I'll tell you who books that, but it ain't a comedy show, and it's very dirty. I missed
I
it.
know the owner there, Don Quixote.
Oh, look at you. Ooh, I read books. Ooh, look at me.
Don K.Y. Quixote.
There you go. There you go.
I made it.
That's why you can't do the cellar early.
That's why.
Here's the problem with Democrats. That please, we can go on and on. They stand for nothing other than Trump bad. So obviously, if Trump is for this clean energy, the most efficient energy there is, they're going to be against it. And they're so indoctrinated that let me explain what a newfangled.
I know big words too.
That's right.
Linoleum.
Yeah, well, before you go lurching at this windmill, you like that?
Yeah.
Here we go. These new windmills. Let me tell you what they do.
What do they do?
They take fossil fuels to build. Okay, so
Yes.
that's not clean, right?
No.
You have to, they go where trees could be planted. You know what trees do? Trees eat up, what's that thing everyone's so worried about? CO2. You understand? So if you were to plant trees there and literally increase wildlife and increase, oxygen production through CO2 consumption, that's one thing. But these things kill animals. They take up space. They need the very fossil fuels that Democrats effing hate. I can say fuck if I want.
And they don't work.
And they don't work.
You know,
Even
they
though
don't
most
work.
of them are white, these things don't work.
We will be back next year when my ban is over. Now,
Hey, we're hanging out again. I love it.
this is great.
love
You could come back anytime, just not when this podcast
I
is
just
on.
can't come back on time.
Not on the show. Just. Let me just say one thing.
Please.
You never go to a real estate and say, I want to move to this town. And the real estate goes, well, you're lucky. They have 3 windmills.
Yeah.
You don't pay for electricity in that town.
Doesn't happen.
Wow. Oh, listen, I just put 2 windmills in my backyard. I don't pay for energy no more. No, it doesn't work. It never generates electricity. Now, I was an electrician for 37 years.
Good number.
And I cannot find exact verified information on how much one windmill generates. There's no data on it.
Because by the time they go to get the data, the thing breaks. Have you ever been by a windmill farm?
Yeah, that's right. I have been in Atlantic City. You know where the hookers are?
Where aren't they? They're creepy. They're
They are.
creepy. It's end of time shit. These people, the left stands for nothing other than orange man bad anymore. And whatever, if Donald Trump was like, I'm pro windmill, I'm sorry. They'd be like, nah, these things are terrible.
Got to get rid of them.
And this idiot, oh God, what this guy calls him Timu Obama. I love it. Not Cory Booker, the other one. The guy that just did 8 hours on the floor talking about.
Oh,
Hakeem Jeffries. Thank you so much. They're all actually. No, it was Hakeem Jeffries who did 8 hours, and he's just decrying.
Yeah, but I loved Hakeem in Coming to America.
Oh, he was very good.
He was very good at that.
Okay,
Remember, he rented the place and.
God, did you ever see the second one, Coming Back to America or whatever?
I enjoyed it.
I did not.
I enjoyed it.
I did not.
Because I'm a great Eddie Murphy fan, and I love Africa.
Best Eddie.
South Africa.
I was watching Lethal Weapon 2 the other day, Kaffir lover.
Let me tell you something.
All right.
Windmill power.
Sure.
They're telling you, as a liberal, as a Democrat, they look you in the eye, supposedly an educated person, and say, you know what's the cutting edge of technology? A windmill. You know what's one step below a windmill? A donkey with a pole on him in a circle.
Really pushing Don Quixote here.
That's just below a windmill. It's a windmill. You're telling me a windmill?
Yeah.
We're talking about AI. We're talking about a trillion bits of information per nanosecond.
Yeah.
That's technology.
Yeah.
We're talking, by the way, solar power don't work either. We'll get into that whenever
Green
we do.
energy doesn't work.
Green energy doesn't work. We're talking about the greatest advance. We're talking about sending something to outer space, and the rockets come down, and instead of splashing down, they just come down and they on a dime.
In reverse.
We launch 1,000 miles away a missile that hits the size of this table and they're talking about windmills.
I wish one of those would hit right now.
Never mind. I'll tell the joke.
A missile could hit this table right now, and
From 1,000 miles away.
and the comedy world wouldn't even hiccup.
The comedy world would be devastated that Otto and George are gone.
Vulgar.
Oh.
Oh, you got the best people.
I tell you what, they've done nothing since I started this thing, so at least they did something.
And can I add something?
That's not even in effect. The thing really blew up.
And here, can I, like, not only does green energy not work, it's been a scam forever, global warming, climate change. Did you see Rogan? And I can't watch Rogan. I like him, but his shows are too long. So I watched.
But they have the abridged ones.
Yeah, well, I watched the clips. Did you see the clip of him with Bernie Sanders?
I have not.
Simply put, this is the beauty of it. Like Bernie Sanders it's like Sanjay Gupta, who came out today and said the vaccines work. They're all effing liars.
They work? He's still saying it?
He's still saying it. He said
in a windmill.
He said most of the people that went to the hospital were unvaccinated, probably because the vaccines weren't out yet. They weren't available, whatever. But Bernie Sanders, like Gupta, I thought of it because it was Rogan. They're so used to people just going, oh, okay.
Right.
And he goes, well, you know, there's climate change. A lot of people tell you it's like, and I don't. This is why Rogan deserves every penny he gets, because he sits there and calmly says, well. Because I would be like, you fucking piece of shit liar.
Hey, watch your mouth.
So anyway, he goes, well, actually, you know, can we bring this graph up? Like he was waiting for it. He goes,
right.
He goes, I don't know if you know this. This is why they say, right now, we are in, if you look back at like the past like 5 or 10, whatever, a certain segment, it looks like temperatures are going up. But if you look back over like since 1850, when the little ice age.
When Bernie was born.
When Bernie, very well, that's why you're here.
You got 17 seconds.
We're in a period of cooling right now. We're in an overall period of cooling if you look at the graph like this, but they look at this, and stupid people are like this with the left. Oh.
We'll be right back. I don't do menstrual jokes. Period.
Windmill.
Corrupt judges, broken families, families torn apart. This is injustice. If you've been wronged by the system, join us. Don't stand alone. Hi, I'm Gary Jacobs, president of Americans for Legal Reform. We're the oldest legal reform group in the United States. The justice system in the United States should be transparent, fair, and open to everybody and accessible. Unfortunately, many times that's not the case. At Americans for Legal Reform, we are here to help. Join the movement. Visit AmericansForLegalReform.com and help reform the system before it fails you.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not So Newlywed Show, where 3 couples are going to compete for really great prizes. Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who complained first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said.
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what. Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Donna is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a one-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who do you hate the most on her side? That rotten no.
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
Hi, my name is Elena Ruseva, aka Megalangela. Please check my art at www.megalangela.vip.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Freddie Rubino here with Gino Bisconti on That's What I'm Talking About, live from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in the land.
It certainly
We
is.
were talking about nuclear power.
Nuclear.
And how the Democrats are trying to tell you, they're trying to say that cutting-edge technology is a windmill from the 1600s.
Yeah.
These are the people who told you that a paper mask will stop a biological weapon that was formed by the military to kill millions of people. Just wear this little mask. It'll help. Oh, the masks don't work. You know what you do? You just take 18 vaccines.
Do you understand? Like, this is another thing I'm sure you'll agree.
Of course I understand.
There's your boy Lee Zeldin. This is what I love about Trump. He's bringing back the two words common sense. And common sense tells you if something's attacking your lungs. I always say this. If you went to a doctor and you said, hey, I need to be healthier, and he said, here's what you do. Eat less food and replace it with shit, you'd be like, do you mean like candy? You'd be like, no, actually shit. Because if you're wearing a mask, your lungs feed on oxygen. So what are you doing? You're getting less oxygen. And you're breathing in. I'll never forget, third grade. I'll never forget. They in third grade science, lungs excrete CO2. And the teacher goes, excrete means poop. And we giggled. But that's literally what you're replacing your lung poop with oxygen. But that's healthier.
I'll be headlining the Excrete Comedy Club in Greenwich Village.
It's extreme. although it does look like they excreted some of those comedians onto the stage.
Hey now. So this is what we're up against. And when you tell me you're a Democrat, you tell me you're a liberal, I just look at you and say, this is why they love windmills and solar energy, because it doesn't work. Because you could say, I want $10 billion for windmills. And they say, okay, here it is. And then they say, how did it go? Well, it ain't doing shit. We need another $10 billion. Out of the $10 billion, they steal $500 million. If it works and it's done, there's no more money flow. So when you build a nuclear reactor, you build it once, it goes on forever. It goes on forever, like Bernie Sanders. And
indeed.
And it's clean steam energy, and there's nothing to steal. You can't steal anything. No. That's why they don't want it.
They don't like it. They want their money. They want their cut of everything. They're purely evil people. And they're complaining now. Obviously, they're politicizing these floods in Texas, saying, well, you know, we cut all this money. And the AP literally just came out. And the AP is not a friend of Donald Trump. We know this.
No, it is not.
The AP said they showed a report. There were extra people on duty, on weather service that night, reporting it. Some things cannot be avoided, okay? And when you had what went on in North Carolina and there was no money and they were literally putting up signs that said if there's a Trump sign, go past the house, and then they're like, well, because they're just problematic. No, that's a problem. Right. That's the government not helping its people. That's the government turning its back on its people. Trump has been doing everything he can, okay? With the exception of that Epstein list, but I'm sure we'll get into that in a little bit.
The Epstein list? What list?
Exactly.
There ain't no list.
I'm told, I heard, and he's usually right about stuff, although this sounds like something that you just want to come true, and it never does. Who was it talking about it? Oh, Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
And imagine if there is a list, okay? And you leak the list and whatever, and all these people, then you go through the courts and everything. But if you have the list and you just walk in.
Don't touch my notes,
walk into it. Now they smell like mediocrity. And you just go like this. Hey, Fred, you and a bunch of people are on this list. Now here's what's going to happen. And you just put the gun to their head. And now they have to go along. They have to play nice. And you're under Trump's thumb. And if Trump's not on that list, he could do that. You know what I mean? So
I believe they said that there was a memo leaked that they got rid of the list, that there is no list.
They got rid of it, or there is
no. Well, they said there was a list.
Right.
Now they're saying there's no list.
Right.
So that this is the memo that's leaked. I don't believe it. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have been the heroes of this country over the last few months.
Sure.
So all of a sudden, It's always leaked, unnamed. We don't know who it was. It was, Trump was on the phone with the Ukraine, and he was trying to shake them down. Remember that story? Never happened. So I'm saying that this bullshit leaked memo is to defame Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Listen, maybe he didn't keep a list. Maybe you don't have the list. I think what Pam Bondi was saying is she has a list of people who've been to the island. They all have it. There's logs.
Yes, flight logs, sure.
In. So that's what she has, but I don't think they uncovered anything. And I do believe that there are people that are so important to this country, to the world, that are involved in this horrific shit that went on.
Sure.
That they're like, is it worth it? I think it's worth it, but they might not think it's worth it. But I am not turning my back on the MAGA movement, on Kash Patel or Pam Bondi, because some douchebag comes out and says, we have a leaked memo that says they're lying.
Yeah.
Not going for it.
Yeah, I think the way I would look at it, and I agree with that. Like, and it circles me back to when you said when someone tells you they're a liberal, no one says, "Hey, I'm a liberal." No one says, "Hey," in real life. It's just the little things they say. You know,
windmills are the future.
Yeah.
No, it's the past. You asshole.
When you get a guy like Bill Maher, who's like, oh, he's kind of playing both ahead. No, he's not. The way he talks about Trump's thing, he's like, I'm going to continue. And when he said to that chick, aren't you? You got to admit you're kind of regretting. No one is regretting. Trump is. This is what I voted for. Every day, did I vote to get the Epstein list out? I didn't vote for that. I'd love to see that, but that's stuff that involves both sides, and I hate both sides. That's why we love that Trump's in, and he's deporting people, but giving them the option to leave. He's extending tariffs, and I don't know if you know this. Kramer, that idiot's like the financial guy. It's like, it's going to be a black market by April 4th. All-time high. No one's talking about that now. No one's talking about that.
They're all wrong.
But they're not wrong. They just move on to the next thing. And it's all gloom and doom that never glooms nor dooms. So, of course, they're going to lean into this and be like, what's he doing? I don't give a crap. I've never diddled a kid, so I don't worry about, well, it's been a busy week. I don't have time for all these people like, oh, well, look at what's Trump. Who cares? Who cares? It's what you said. I don't have time for these terrible people doing terrible things. I do have time for Donald Trump doing wonderful things, though.
And if you want to know where Gino Bisconti is, he'll be on diddlethekid.com. It's
actually .org, .net, and .com were taken. I was very upset about that.
Every stupid. Let me tell you something. All they do is they look for something that Trump said that's not true. Yeah. They look for it. They read into it. They'll twist his words. I haven't seen anything that he lied about yet. No. I really haven't. And I'm open-minded. And if you show me something he said he was lying, and you know what I'll say? Yeah, he was lying. That's wrong. Yeah. I'm surprised at him. Well, I'm disappointed in him. I'm telling like your father. I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed.
In you. And I'm shocked and dismayed.
I don't understand what this is going to sound so stupid, but I can be. I don't understand what a political lie is, because whichever side you look at, it's like, these are all the lies Donald Trump told during his speech. These are all the lies Biden said during his speech. These are all the lies the Autopeen signed during. Right. And it's like, none of these things, these are just guys talking, and you find the silliest little loophole to call it a lie. Like, when Trump says, I'm going to clean up the border, 0% people coming across now. Fact, promises made, promises kept. I'm going to tariff people and, increase income and lower taxes. Promises made, promises kept.
And here's liberals. They're like, he's after big business. He wants to protect big business. He just fired the richest man in the world with the two most successful companies. Yeah. What? He tariffed China. Walmart is shitting themselves like Biden at the Vatican, saying, we have Chinese goods. What are we going to do? Trump goes, I don't care about your big business. I care about making America great again. So all of these things. Now, we had the entire Democratic Party, along with the president and the vice president and Mayorkas or whatever his name is.
Mayorkas. He needs to go to jail.
They all in concert together said we cannot close the border. We need legislation from the Republican Party to join. They won't do it. They said that for 4 years.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands of people murdered by these people who came across. Trump's in a week, it's closed.
Yeah.
No one's held accountable for lying to America. No one apologizes to the parents of the people who were killed by these murderers that came across. Nothing sticks on them because the media is right up their ass like a Liberace concert.
Yeah.
And it's not right. And I don't believe anything they say. And if you tell them, what about that lie? What about Biden's lie? What about Kamala Harris's lie? They just move on. Orange man bad.
Orange man bad.
It's deranged.
And this is another thing that I think about why I think the Trump list, like, I like the idea that maybe, and I don't mean to get back to the Trump list, but you said.
But you are.
But I am, because you said Kamala, and that reminds me of another thing.
It's not Kamala.
If Trump was on the list, right? Or let me rephrase, if there was no list, okay?
Right.
And Trump. Excuse me. If there was a list and Trump was on it, they would have leaked it. I don't care who else is on it.
It would
because
have
I'll tell
been
you,
all over the place.
because you know who's not on it? You know who's never been tied to it? Kamala. So they would have been like, we're set. All we do is leak this out. We don't care who else gets infected, because Trump bad and Kamala not, and it would have been great. But that's how you cannot convince me, list or no list, Trump ain't on it. Okay?
100% true. Remember the story about Trump going to Russian prostitutes and they
peed on him?
And they peed on him?
You know how much that costs in real? Anyway, go.
That's a lot of money, but he's rich. Hey.
I missed this, buddy.
You know, everything in Trump Tower is gold. Except the showers, because he's a germaphobe. And everyone came forward and said he's a germaphobe.
To keep this going.
We have 10 seconds to deny golden showers was said on this show. We'll be back for the last segment right after this.
Woo!
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic, America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Are you a musician, comedian, actor, filmmaker, or artist who stands for traditional American values? Do you believe in the preservation of our nation, our culture, and our freedoms? If you share our passion for America and want to use your talents to make a difference, we want to hear from you. Our mission is clear. Through the arts, we uphold the principles of freedom, faith, family, and the American spirit. It's time to step up to the mic and make your voices heard. So contact us at AmericanConservativeArtists.com.
Good morning. It's me, Joe the Box, wearing my Border 911 hat signed by Tom Holman, Rodney Scott, and Sarah Carter. The country has had enough. The American Horror Story is over. Border 911. Tom Holman is coming through. My brother's son, my friends' children. We're done with it. 100,000 were lost lives every single year. God bless you, Tom.
The Queens Village Republican Club is America's oldest Republican club, founded in 1875. Situated in President Trump's hometown in Queens, New York, we are America First MAGA Republicans, empowering fellow Republicans to get involved in the game of politics at the grassroots level. We host inspiring monthly club meetings on the first Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. For more information, please go to our website at www.qvgop.org.
America First Warehouse was really the the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Don't even get with these cigarettes in England.
Freddie Rubino here with That's What I'm Talking About. We have another story that we're gonna go off the other story because I gotta get to these other stories. This 4th of July, I posted a video.
Yes.
Now, what do you call a cigarette in England? In England,
Paul Lind. I'm playing Hollywood Squares. I always wanted to be on that show as a kid, and I
Would
think
you just answer my goddamn question?
Faggot. Can I say it?
No, it's not a fag. It's a fag.
It's a faggot as well.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Take it from me, I know.
I'm gonna Google that. Take it from me.
I've Googled a faggot many times in my life. See how you get around it, guys?
That's your whole.
Are we on?
So a cigarette in England is called a fag.
That's right.
And and that's a horrifically derogatory way to do. So this July 4th, I posted a video of Liberace.
Somebody took it and put my head on it.
Twirling a baton.
Yeah.
With all, you know how he dresses glitter. It was red, white, and blue.
Sure.
And he was, and it was music, and he was just being patriotic. And I just put Happy Independence Day, and it was a famous American.
Sure.
Being patriotic. That's it. We're so twisted in this country that by the way, it got 2.3 million views.
Yeah. Well, but if they're
I was getting views up the ass.
But if they're English cigarettes, their views don't count as a whole person.
A lot of English cigarettes.
They never got to enjoy Liberace.
They didn't. And you know what? How twisted. And now I got it from the right. I got it from the left.
Yeah.
Much like Liberace.
He got it from both sides?
He got it up and down. But what I'm saying
Didn't he say he was on a watermelon diet and that's what killed him?
No, fruit. That's fruit.
He was putting
That's an old joke of mine.
He's putting a lot of fruits in his mouth?
No.
We
were talking, one time we were talking about hemorrhoids, and you wanted to know what makes them bleed. And I said fruit. And you said what kind? And what was my answer? The fruit you're sleeping with. So that has nothing to do with the story, Gino. Can't you do the news?
No.
Okay.
I told you that.
So I posted that, and first of all, people went all out. They were like, "It's disgusting." I go, "There's nothing disgusting about it. It's a man is free in the freest country, exercising his freedoms." And loving America.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of America. And then the deranged came on. That's Trump. Trump's gay.
What?
That's what these liberals were coming, and I was saying, wait a minute. You are trying to badmouth Trump by saying he's a British cigarette.
Yeah. Which is hate. That's what the left does. They say the most hateful things.
They say hate, but then if you say British cigarette,
yeah,
they go, oh, he's homophobic.
Yeah.
So they'll brandish
Didn't
homophobic.
Biden say poor kids have just as much opportunity as white kids?
Then he shit himself.
Then he shit himself. Count. They say the most racist things but they're like, I didn't say these buzzwords anyway. Sorry to interrupt you. That's what I do.
This is what social media has become.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you say, they will twist it into an anti-Trump thing. The weather, Liberace. By the way, whatever you want to say about Liberace, a beloved American. Beloved.
Yeah.
If you talk to the people who were older, you know, like Chips Cooney.
Yeah. Beloved.
Hey, shout out.
Beloved, ask any man with a capital BLO. Anyway, go on.
And you asked him about...
There's no W in beloved. Were you still talking?
Yeah.
I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did the 8 minutes I was in the parking lot watching your show.
There goes my Liberace bit. Okay.
This is great. We're hanging out.
Hey, this just in Fox News. a serial killer, okay, is they are fearing that there's a serial killer loose in Texas.
Because of the lake, right?
Because they found bodies in Austin, Texas, Lady Bird Lake.
Yeah, I heard about this.
38 individuals recovered since 2022. But here's the headline. This is the best. Serial killer fears grip Texas community after dozens of bodies being pulled from a lake. And then it says, it cannot be ignored.
Seems like it's been ignored for 3 years. And does anyone else want to, like, all the illegals that come over? Oh, please. It's
38.
ignored.
So this is Texas. This is Texas.
Okay.
Hey, Vern, you just pulled another body out of Lady Bird Lake.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, but you know how the barbecue I had the other day? Really? Brisket. You know how to smoke brisket? Hey, Vern, 22 bodies just came out. Let me tell you how to smoke a brisket. 37! Body number 37! Hey, how about them Cowboys?
By the end, literally, me and you're Vernon, we're just like looking at the brisket, and they're craning a body out of the lake in one of those.
Eating.
Yeah.
38 bodies. There's hardly anyone left in Austin. And then they go, you know what? This can't be ignored anymore.
We tried. We tried the first 21 bodies, but this we can't ignore anymore.
Listen, I love the state of Texas, but didn't we have a shooting where one of the police didn't go in?
Oh, yeah. Was that the school? One of the police, where the police didn't want to go in. They wanted to wait.
Right.
Like, wasn't that where the kid, snuck in through the fire door?
Yeah, because they left it open.
They left it open, like with a brick or something, and then
There's things that happen in Texas that just scare me.
Well, I mean, it's the last. I don't want to say last frontier. I believe that's Alaska.
I'm glad you said that.
I'll be in August.
I'm glad you didn't say it's the Jews for once.
I said that. We had 4 3-minute breaks. I've been saying it for 12 minutes. It's the Jews, but you won't let me say it on the air.
Because you know why?
You did. I'm kidding.
You know why?
Why?
Because I used to goof around like that all the time.
Right.
Because as a comedian, there's many Jewish comics, and that used to be a joke that we used to do forever. It's raining. You know why it's raining? It's the Jews.
Jews control the weather.
Vietnam, it's the Jews.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it was so outrageous how people would think that. And you know I stopped doing it because I did a few shows. You don't know about this.
Quit bragging.
And I was with people, and a lot of them were like, very big business people, and we were goofing and having drinks outside, and the guy goes, oh, yeah, you know what happened? My BMW got recalled, and I go, yeah, you know why? Because the Jews. And more than once, very articulate, educated people, not you,
now I'm out,
said to me, there's some truth to that. And I was like, oh, my God! What are you out of your mind?
Are you sure it wasn't me now? Now I'm gonna ask, are you sure that wasn't me?
I would be like, oh my God!
But you're exactly right, and this is what drives me nuts in this day and age, because my act, I think I do.
What act?
My dog and pony my act.
My English cigarettes.
I'm telling you, I think I make a lot of observations about like comics. I talk about race and religion, all that stuff, and in the best way where you can laugh at it, and it's what you said. But now you've got gays for Palestine. Who? Why don't you go to Palestine? See how that works out for you, English cigarette. Why don't you do that? Because they're gonna put you out like a butt on the sidewalk from a rooftop. And that's the people's like, well, there's some truth that, like, that's racist.
That's why gays are for Palestine, because there's no more rooftops. Let's hear it for Netanyahu. No more rooftops. Write that down now. No more rooftops.
Okay, so.
Let me just say that when you do this and you tell jokes, and then these people take it to that level, I had to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Except for today, because of you.
But if I can get philosophical in a way, and I say
Go
this.
ahead. You have 2.5 minutes.
I'll do it in a minute.
I'll be headlining Philosophicals this week in Pennsylvania.
During the lockdown, they tried to stop this. That's why I love coming to this studio. They tried to shut us down. They tried to stop laughter, and they tried to normalize YouTube, living in boxes, and worst of all, like Jimmy Kimmel and all this stuff where people politely laugh and obediently,
Right.
you know, the things about us is when we're on stage, there's no applause sign behind us, but the stuff that really heals you, every organ in your body
medicine.
is genuine laughter. Every organ in your body is there from the moment you're born. 99.9% of the time it's healthy. 99.9% of the time it wants to stay healthy, and you heal it with that guttural laughter.
Yes.
The stuff people don't want to laugh at, not the obedient stuff. And when you make jokes about race or religion and take something horrific like the Holocaust and make people laugh in its face while remembering it, that's amazing. But when you feel like, I don't like to talk, Jeffrey Gorian told me to stop doing Holocaust jokes.
That piece of... I think you should stop doing Holocaust jokes. Anyway.
What's funnier than that, though?
Anyway, I had something to say, and you just...
Windmills. Donkeys.
You gotta laugh. By the way, my father had cancer, and
oh, I thought you had.
And he chose laughter, and now he's dead. So it's not the best medicine, people. Take your medicine. And
well, I mean, but the physician heal thyself. I'm not saying doctors are quacks, but don't take stuff that your body can do on its own.
What? Don't take medical advice from Gino Bisconti.
All right, take your antidepressants, which have a side effect of depression. Okay,
Right.
Do that. Make sure if you're having trouble breathing.
And may cause diarrhea.
Yeah, if you're having trouble breathing, make sure you get on a rest. What was it? The lung thing, which breathes through your lungs, so when you turn it off, they forget how to breathe. Do that. Do that.
My favorite thing in the last minute, my favorite thing was when my grandmother looked at the medicine bottle and said it could cause dementia, it could cause you lose your sight, it could cause a complete adrenal shutdown and diarrhea. And she went, diarrhea? I ain't taking this.
True story, I bet.
I'll sign up for adrenal failure. That's it.
That is why, and I'll say this fast so you get the last. That is why. They killed during that. That's why whatchamacallit Cuomo didn't get back in. They killed all the old people, stuffed them into old folk because they didn't want tribal elders. They didn't want a grandmother saying stuff like that. I'm going to take the vaccine.
Freddie Rubino. Keep talking. Freddie Rubino.
Take some Pastina instead.
I am got FredRubino.com. Come see me live. Gino, can you come back next week?
I'm coming every week, whether I'm invited or not.
Oh, he's coming every week.
I swear to Christ. You think I'm kidding? Thank you for letting me do this. I might even be on time next week.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.